Welcome. This is Crimey Queen. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us laugh, makes us smile. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is our journey to actualizing soulful love. This is where we are having fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. Okay, on this path, we are learning about Mother Eve. If you're new to this channel, this is perhaps a strange figuration or depiction of Eve. Of course, Eve ought to look like us, but yes, she still does. There's that her eye, her third eye, has been visible here in this sense because that is as a reminder to let us know that when it is said that she ate of the fruit, she really had opened her third eye. That's what the story is about. But as parables, like we know with the story of Christ, for instance, Jesus Christ spoke in a lot of parables, and perhaps that was a deliberate teaching as well, or format to remind us that perhaps everything else we have learned is about parables. Perhaps the word parable would stay with us, would linger with us to get us searching, because the Bible always tells us about searching for wisdom. So there we see when we do the numerical value for the word et, it equals 8. And also if we do the numerical value for the word I, meaning the third I, it equals 8. So there we are with this Mother Eve, which is the I am that I am. This is A and M. We can see that on here. So this is the I am that I am given to Moses on Mount Sinai as the name for God. Okay, so we know name is character. If the name, your name tells about your character. And of course, if you don't like what your name, you can always change your name, if you don't like it and find something that has more meaning for you. That's if it hasn't got much meaning for you. Okay, all right. And this is another depiction of the I am that I am. We are working on the sacrifice scale. This is the I. This is where Eve ate of the apple or the fruit. We say apple because apple, the word apple equals 23. 2 and 3 is 5, which puts you in that column. And that is like everything else. You've had to find something that matches that part of the story to make that association. So meaning Eve equals 5 and the word apple also equals 5. So there we are with the story Eve ate an apple. Basically, it's finding the numerical value that matches with that vibrational frequency of whatever it is we are doing. So we see how it transpires here in the word sacrifice. Of course, 8 equals the I. Like there's a letter I, sacred, that there is RI, so also meaning this I, and so we have the 8, the number 8 here as well. Okay, equally we have the same there. So there were two eyes. This template seemed to be presenting us of opportunities. It's not like very rigid in saying that you have to get to a certain point. It's not only one point that is presented here, that where we can be redeemed of our sins through Christ. But it does say when you are in Christ, you are a new creature. Perhaps it is at that point we are able to make that reflection of where we're at in that new dimension. But I don't think it's really saying that Christ is only there, although the word Christ equals 5. But I also believe it's like, for instance, you may be in, okay, if one was to say, when you are in a certain room, or when you are in the kitchen, this is where you have, or you're in your dining room is where you have your meal, but it's not saying that you are not in the house already. You're already in the house from 1 to 9 or wherever it is, but it is when you are in the diner, that's where you are acknowledging, well, you associate it with food. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so there we are with Mother Eve. Let's explore numbers. We are about numbers now, so we are exploring number 4. There is so much to number 4. I can just think of 4 like Revelation, for instance, equals 13. 1 and 3 is 4, because we have done so many presentation that reflects that dimension here. Development, I think the word development might also mean 4. I think I'm just curious to do that, and let's see. It may not be, but development, or develop. I am determined to make it be. 4, 5, 4, 5, 3, 6, 7, 4, 5, 5, 2. Okay. Hope you can see this. Pen is a bit faint, but okay. Development. So let's add. So this is 5, 2 and 5, 7 and 5, 12 and 4, 16 and 4, 23 and 6, 29 and 3, 32 and 5, 37 and 4, 41 and 9. Yes, 41 and 9. Also, that's 50. Okay. Interesting. I thought it was 40. I had hoped. But it perhaps means, of course, we being creative right now. This is where, of course, 5 is the reflecting here, because 5 is where it is said that 5 is the end, development. So when you have gone through that developmental stage, of course, whatever it is that you're doing, you come to the end. So you see that 5, it's like there is an end, and we see the word water and the word revelation with the E here on both parts seem to be as a reminder, letting us know. It's as if the word development is encased. It's encased in this 4 dimension right here, because we go through this 4 dimension, and here in Christ we go through, I would say, the 5th dimension. We go through here and we see the 5 is here. So it's as if there is a reflection. Mother Eve, who equals 5, is being reflected here. It's taking us to, with her feet, taking us in that newness of creation, of life, or our development, our existence. That is a better. So when we are in Christ, we are a new creature. Here, Mother Eve takes us to this position as well. And of course, we have the R we have W, which is 5, which equals 5. New, each of these equals 5. We have the R in this column too, that reminds us of the number 9, which is beginning. So there we are with beginning from waters and end. So we are ending one cycle here in the same cycle, so the end and the beginning is the same. Hence we have so I'm talking a lot about number 5 when I really want to talk about number 4. But hence we have in the scriptures number 9 and 5. as the word in. Let's get back to number 4. This is where we are familiarizing ourselves with our north, south, east, and west. This is where we have gone from 1 to 3, we are in 4, the developmental stage. This is where you are. We are being intuitive here. Of course, we have 3. It's like we are it's as if there's a crash course right there, because there's a 3 here. We are getting into this 3, this section here, which is the 3 4 3 fours 12. We could see it's the 4s here, and so we are getting to understand how the 3 dimension that we are in, 3 4s, and we are also getting to understand more of our makeup of what journey we have been on, what we had drank from the sack, the breast, what we had been fed on. And before, it's as if you're ready to go on a new journey, and you are taking into account everything you need to take with you or what you don't need to take with you. You are packing for your new journey, your new dimension. Sometimes when we go abroad and we think, oh, I forgot something. Of course, you can't really go back and say, okay, this is what I'm going to go and get my swimming suit or something to that effect. But we get into this Fox Street and we are still thinking, oh, perhaps I should have taken this, or in your mind, the skills that you had attained in developmental stage, or where you were lucky, or in the agreements that you had made, or the training that you had been given, will equip you to being resourceful, or being or putting on your survival skills to taking you into your new dimension. So that's what 4 is about. 4 solidifies. 4 is that which gives that demarcation of a point being it has been there is, it's like you have gone through another gate. It's like you have graduated. That's what 4 is about. It's about graduation. It's saying that you are ready to move on to another level. And 4 has given you safety, it's given you stability, it's given you presence, because presence equals 4. Father equals 4. Revelation equals 4. I was going to say king. No, king is 5. Okay, but king is where you get into that new dimension. Endurance, the word endurance, because I know of endurance, that equals 4. Blue equals 4. Green equals 4. So we can see that the firmament and of the earth and the heavens, in that sense, the greens of the trees, which gives us which is the heart, which is our heart, the chakra, the color of the chakra is 4 of green, the green chakra for the heart. So we are looking at green, and of course we say when we are feeling blue, of course the blue sky when the sun is bright, and that is just like balance. But we see that 4 helps to create that balance in a sense. Yeah, and let's see what other words we have. The word psyche is 31, which is the reverse for the word revelation. And so I'll just do a few words to show all my brushes fallen to the ground, to the floor. Okay, let's do a few words on blue. On Okay, let's do blue. Blue. BLUEGREEN. And there's the thing about land as well. LAND. Another thing that we have been doing for with, which is a lot, is that it's that, because the word that is the dots. This is what we have been connecting, the dots. So I also want to look at the construct of the word of the number 4, and we could also do the word for, but FOUR, which I have done, which equals, and that's what I like about doing numerology. It gives us the opportunity to see things in a different light. So there we are, 9 and 3, 12, and 6 is 18, and 18 and 6 is 24. Now, 4 equals 6. But the wonderful thing, I'm so excited, I'm stuttering on this. And the wonderful thing about this is that here in 4, which I have mentioned, that gives us stability, the 4 corners of the earth, the 4 elements that we are, and the 4 dimensions, which is the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. So we are looking at 4, and we see it's like telling us that and giving us another construct of what 4 is, the 24 hours of the day. So we have 4 dimensions. We are operating on 3 dimension plus time is also equals 4. So there we are with 6. Why are we with 6? Of course, because our makeup of that which we are, the number of man created on the 6th day, is also in that unit of 1 or 4. So basically, it's like we could look at this equation, this numerical value, as a body, a person, but you constitute of different parts. So, or my head has, within my head, or the shape of my head, I've got 7 circles. I've got 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, and 2 ears, and it's still 1. So hence, when we do the numerical value for the word 1, it equals 7. So this is 5, 5, and 6. 5 and 5, 10, and 6, 16. 1 and 6 is 7. So there we see how 1, as I just mentioned as well, 7 circles equals 1 head. Oh, okay, and we may also have this one posture or image, or one person having a certain 7 segments or parts to the body. So this is what numerology is teaching us, to knowing ourselves on different angles and different dimensions, and I just really love it. So there we are with blue equals, we have blue, we have land, we have that. Let's look at presence. I love to look at presence, because that really just tells it all. Presence. Okay, PRESENCE, and this is 5355159. Let's add up. This is 8, and 10 is 18, 19, and 5 is 24, and 7 is 31, and 9 is 40. So this is 40. Now, another word just came to me that I remember, the word attraction. We all love that word, attraction. Okay, so I have done this. Okay, let's just do it so you see the working. 9 and 2 and 3. 1, 9, 2, 2, 1. Let's look at that. 5 and 6, 11, and 9, 20, and 5, 25, and 10, 35, and 4, 39, and 1, 40. So we see how 4 is also that attraction. It has been used perfectly to capture our attention when it has been used so often through the stories, the biblical stories, the 40 days of and 40 nights of Christ back to the sacrifice to sacrifice. Christ fasted, prayed and fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. So we hear of that. And the children of Israel, 40 years to the promised land. So we see how the number 40, and again with God making this covenant with Abraham, it was about land. And we see the word land is 3154. 3154, that's 4 and 5, 9 and 1, 10 and 3, 13. Now this, whenever we see 13, which we have been doing a lot of 13s, it takes us back to number 2. It takes us back to where that 2 column is. It's like showing us in numerical value, this is what God did, and everything God did, or everything God done, the word done I think is 2. He saw it was good. So meaning he saw it in half, saw it good. He saw the word saw equals 7, good equals 5. So he saw it, but it's like 2 sevens. Then we see this is how Mother Eve comes into play. 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 becomes 5. So everything God did, he saw it was good. We see how the numbers get so interrelated. So 1 and 3, for instance, is 13, and we would see it as an odd number. It is an odd number, of course. But then we see how it becomes 2. We see how it holds the value of 2 because Christ had the Last Supper with his disciples. That was 12. And Christ being 13. We see how 13 transpires on the number 2 because of the agreement that took place between them. There was a bond. Hence, we have the B, which when we get to the B, it comes under this column, under the number 2 column, which also is reflective of the 3 strokes, the Trinity right here. So we see how everything is interrelated, but it is vital that we are able to make sense of the numbers, the frequency, because they are performing function. It's like 13 is 13, but it's like the story, the essence of what we learned that had taken place. There became a bond, there was an agreement, and then it's no more 13. It was no more just 13 with Jesus and the disciples. It was a bond, it was an agreement, it was love. This is what we know because God so loved the world, and that happened because of love. This is what we learn. And of course, the word love, when we do the numerical value, it comes to 9. So it was an agreement or participation that happened here that had an effect that would take us to this life journey. It would take us to the Christ, where we become a new creature, and then we are in gypsy journey. We go to headquarters zone, pay our inland revenue, our dues to the inland revenue. Then we are mature in Christ because we know what it is like to be in heaven and in earth. Okay, so this is in fact the number 8 is equals the word divide as well. So we see heaven and earth. Okay. And another thing as well that is so beautiful with the word, the number 8 here, which is divide, we see that the blue equals 4, which I haven't done. Blue equals 4 and green equals 4. So we see how we get to be in heaven and earth, and 4 and 4 equals 8. Okay, so let's do, there we see the bond as well here, 3, 3, 5. So there we are, 5 and 3, 8 and 3, 11 and 2, 11, 12, 13. So 1 and 3, so we see 13. So blue is in direct correlation with the word revelation. I like that. Okay, so for 5, 5, 5, we see all these greens here, 5s here, and 7. Okay, I'm trying not to rub off the template. So 3 5s 15, and 9 is 24, and 7 is 31. So basically 31. This is very interesting because green and blue are really reflection of each other. It's as if we are looking at something upside down, or it is the same thing that it is, but depending from where we are standing, we are seeing it back to front or inside out, or up or down. So it's basically the same vibration. It's how we are choosing to look at the two, or how they function, or how we make use of their functions in our lives. So blue and green, that's really wonderful. Well, let's see how land plays out here. Have we done land? Of course, land is 13. Now, I would have thought that land would have been 31. Interesting. 9, 10, yes, land is 13. And this is what it was when God said to Moses, I am that I am. That equals 13. So it's like God saying, I am land, I am. I am land, I am. It seemed like God was making, because of course it was the land. Wow, it was the land that was promised to the children of Israel. So when Moses asked, and Moses is 8, of course, when Moses asked of God, well, who should I say it is? And God said, I am that I am. So there God was more or less saying, I am land. I am land. So wherever you go, I am there. I am the land and I am the sky, because God equals 8. So I am that I am. I am above. I am below. I am the sky. I am the ground. I am green. I am blue. Wow. I love it. I love it. Of course. So here we are, where God is saying, I am this. This I am. I am that. And we see that it's no wonder I had this revelation that we are dots. So the word dots as well, dots, DOTS, 1, 2, 6, 4. So that's 3 and 6, 9, and 9 and 4 is 9 and 4 is 13. 1, 3. 1 and 3 is 4. So that was what I got. We are dots. So God is saying, I am that I am. So in actual fact, I'm in agreement as well with Donald Walsh, the author of Conversations with God, and perhaps rightly so, to say that God, there was a comma after that, meaning like whatever you see or you want to equate to God, God is saying, I am that. But the vibrational energy of that 13 is, in essence, when we look at when we look at 4 here, we see 4 is not only on the developmental stage, but it takes us back to this two. It takes us back to be. It takes us back to agreement. It's as if four is always reflecting that gel. It's reflecting agreement. It's reflecting boundary. It's reflecting um, safety, stability, presence, and everything else that we could make sense of. Wherefore, water, water is a form of life in that sense, and it's reflective of water. And fire, fire is number two. So it takes us this one and three. It takes us back to, let's see how fire works out. I remember it being two, but on the construct. So this is 5996. So 9 and 9, 18, 19, 24, and 5 is 29. So this is 2, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. So this we see 2 comes back here. But of course, the up and down, the polarities always takes us back to 2. And I will end on that note because I think that tells it all. Okay, and oh, we had bell, another word that has strong resonance. The word bell, that equals 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Now I hadn't done many words that just goes on the 4, but 4 is 4 anyway. So and of course perhaps it's rightly so, because the whole idea is to reflect the sacrifice of Christ. So I'm thanking you for watching, and on the clock is 31:15. So we are talking about 31 and 13. So there we go, synchronicity. Thank you. I hope you like this presentation. If you like this presentation, click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. Stay blessed, stay bright, be a field, and stay ignited, because we are planting new seeds. We need that ignition to that vibration to really plant those seeds. Okay, thank you. Namaste. And spill over with love.